Good morning, everyone, and I'd like to welcome you to the official launch of BuyDonegal 2022. My name is Marie Conlon, and I'm Head of Economic Development in Donegal County Council. And I would like to welcome everyone here today. We are expecting to be joined by the Cathaoirleach Councillor Liag Blaney in a few minutes. And I'd also like to welcome our other elected members who have joined us this morning, our colleagues, and of course our BuyDonegal business partners and indeed the media, who again have been very supportive of this campaign over the last number of years. So I'm delighted that you've joined us to help celebrate the third year of BuyDonegal. And we're all working really hard here to I suppose, really shine a light on the very many superb Donegal products and services that we have to offer, and to encourage customers both at home here in Donegal and indeed in Ireland and abroad to buy Donegal products. So we have a great lineup of speakers this morning. So really looking forward to this event. In a few minutes, we'll hear from the Cathaoirleach Councillor Liag Blaney. And we'll then hear from Stephen Perry, our Economic Development Officer, and here in Donegal County Council. And Stephen is one of the founders, if you like, of the BuyDonegal initiative. And Stephen's going to tell us a little bit more about the campaign itself and the importance of the campaign for businesses in Donegal. And we're then really delighted to welcome a number of guest speakers. So we have John O'Hara with us today from the Creative Coast Donegal. And many of the businesses participating in BuyDonegal this year are members of the Creative Coast. And John's going to talk through his plans for the Creative Coast and again, opportunities for members that may be on the call this morning. We also will have the pleasure of hearing from Isobel Sangha of the Donegal Natural Soap Company and James Doherty from Sliabh Distillers. They'll both share with us their own business stories and provide inspiration on how you can build an international business from Donegal. So really looking forward to hearing from both Isobel and James. And then we'll also hear then from Conor Doherty. Conor is a member of our economic development team and is one of our marketing executives. And Conor will tell us a little bit more about how you as businesses can get involved in the BuyDonegal campaign, how you can use some of the digital assets that we have developed, and how you can help maximise the impact of the Donegal brand. And finally, a little bit of housekeeping. If everyone could make sure that their microphones are muted. And if you would like to ask a question, please feel free to type into the questions and answers box, and we'll get to it at the question and answer session at the very end of the event. So I think we may still be waiting on the Cathaoirleach Councillor Liag Blaney to come along. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to invite Stephen Perry to join us initially, just to talk about the BuyDonegal campaign and I suppose the background to the campaign and again what it means for businesses in Donegal. So I'm just going to hand over to you now, Stephen. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much, Anne-Marie. So good morning, everyone. And again, I'm also delighted to be back and talking about BuyDonegal as an annual campaign. Seems like a quick 12 months in some respects. And I suppose the appetite and enthusiasm for the campaign has really continued to grow. Last year, we had over 300 businesses involved, and we hope we can build on that again this year. For those who don't know me, as Anne-Marie said, I'm Stephen Perry, working in economic development with Donegal County Council, and along with many others, I stress that we're responsible, I suppose, for developing the campaign initially. I suppose it's probably best to start at the beginning. So initially, I suppose our director of service had asked us to come up with ideas about how we might be able to positively impact businesses who are struggling with the challenge of that dreaded P word, the pandemic. I think that might have been the actual original COVID strain at that stage. So I remember speaking to a few different businesses and chambers groups and asked, talked a little bit about, I suppose, about the idea and asked if they would be willing to be involved. I think actually one of the first business I spoke with was the Natural Soap Company and Isobel, who's presenting a little later, and she said she'd be delighted to be part, and that was something that came up, I suppose, time and time again. So it felt like we were maybe onto something then. BuyDonegal Weekend, as it was called then, was born. And over the course, I suppose, of a very busy September and October in 2020, myself along with colleagues, we developed a website, social media platforms, and manually updated business profiles, over 200 of them, as they began to come through. At that point, I was myself only back in Donegal a couple of months, having returned from London. And I was just really, blown away, I suppose, by the talented businesses that to be honest, I hadn't really heard of. And that was somebody, I suppose, who kept very strong links with Donegal, who read the Democrat and Donegal Daily and the likes on a weekly basis. And then I suppose moving on then to last year, we were still under something of a COVID cloud. And when we wanted to get out and about a little bit more, we were curtailed by a new strain, and BuyDonegal was primarily virtual again. So as we're moving on to this year, before we started planning for this year's campaign, and as Anne-Marie alluded to Conor and Elaine, who are very much vital cogs in the BuyDonegal wheel. We got together to brainstorm ideas for how we can make BuyDonegal more impactful and rewarding for both businesses and consumers. And we decided to reach out to businesses to see if they would be willing to get involved, as was to provide some form of prize. And to say the response was positive would be an understatement. The generosity and enthusiasm of businesses to get involved and support the campaign is massively motivating for us, and just to see the responses for people willing to get involved in so many levels was massive for us. This year BuyDonegal will have a weekly theme, which will give a specific focus to our audience. It'll provide the opportunity for people to win prizes and encourage them to get involved for the campaign. And whether that's sharing your pictures, your many funny stories, we know we can all tell a wonderful story from Donegal, or even just an appreciation for our designers, our makers, food and drink producers, or retailers or service providers. Those are really important that we get that message out. And Donegal is very fortunate to have a very strong and special link to our diaspora and expats across the world. And we'll be engaging with them throughout the campaign with the support of our colleague Owen, our diaspora executive, to ensure BuyDonegal is very much in their hearts and minds, and virtual shopping carts too. With ourselves and Donegal County Council, we're really pleased with the number of businesses who've got involved in the campaign, from the beginning, large and small, from all parts of the county, from Bundoran in the south right up to Malin. Last year, and I suppose the importance of feedback, 2/3 of the businesses who got involved said that the campaign was a success for them, and 99% said that they would take part in BuyDonegal again. I do think that 1% clicked on the wrong button by accident. Other business feedback was that they really liked the collaborative nature of the campaign, and helped to collectively build impact. People said that the campaign helped to put Donegal on the map and showcase to a wider audience. Feedback, as they say, is a gift, and when we're putting a proposal in to continue the campaign and look for essentially public money to support with advertising and so on, it really is vitally important to get that feedback from everybody to ensure that the campaign continues. I suppose this year we want to reach an even larger audience. We have invested a lot in terms of growing our own digital platforms, but that's something we always want to grow larger and larger. So we will support the campaign with an extensive marketing effort as well. And we would also ask you for your help. When you see somebody buying a Donegal brand or using the BuyDonegal hashtag, please do like and share with that hashtag, which will help to increase visibility for the campaign, and whether that's on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or wherever. But it is really important to remind the people of Donegal and far beyond about the campaign. Some feedback we received last year was that people wanted to know exactly in Donegal where businesses were based. So we have a map as well to show that businesses where exactly they're based in Donegal for those who have a physical store. So if you do have the opportunity to go and visit in person, please do pop in and support them if you can that way. Special offers as well, I suppose, are a really good incentive to drive purchase as well. And I know that a lot of businesses had a lot of success and done different types of special offers, whether it's a free gift with purchase, a discount in future purchase, or a free entry draw. There's a number, I suppose, of different mechanics you can use. Conor a little later will show the various assets available for businesses, both digitally, but also we'll have posters, stampers and stickers available for businesses who want to communicate BuyDonegal on their premises. So do get in touch with us and we can facilitate that. But BuyDonegal, as we've already alluded to, I suppose wouldn't be possible without obviously you, the businesses, but also the work of many people within the council. So that includes our own economic development unit. Conor, Elaine and Amanda, our colleagues in IS, our local enterprise office and tourism all play a part. So really thank you for your time and effort in promoting BuyDonegal. BuyDonegal is, I suppose, all about telling stories, and the individual businesses who are producing and selling a product or service are really, really important. Last year, we had, I think, almost 20,000 visitors to our site. We had people logging on from 68 different countries, and the campaign hashtag reached almost 14 million people across social media. So that really is a fantastic opportunity for Donegal businesses to tell your story to a global audience. And I'm conscious I'm a little over time, but I will finish with the following, which I do think highlights both the appeal of our businesses in Donegal, but also the importance of campaigns like BuyDonegal and how we need to work together to amplify its message. I was at a wedding in Monaghan last weekend, and I sat beside a gentleman from County Down who works with Cllr Distillers, and he told me he had a huge interest in the whiskey industry. Just to flag as well, he wasn't indulging at the time, but once I mentioned that I was from Donegal, he said his favourite whiskey of any was Dark Silky because of its unique peat taste. So it was well done to James, and I'm sure Moira and the team in the background who've put all the hard work into that. But after that, he was so passionate about Donegal without any strong ties there. He went on to talk about how much he loved it and said it had so much potential going for it, from its food and drink, its craft businesses, the people, the beautiful scenery, and the character of the towns and villages. And he asked, is there anything we do to collectively promote business in Donegal, which did feel quite ironic, considering what we're launching here today. So I introduced him very passionately to the campaign. So Conor from Cllr Distillers, if you're listening, please do use the hashtag and buy Donegal early and buy Donegal often.
Thank you. Thanks very much, Stephen. That's a great story. You're always working, even when you're at a wedding. So thank you very much. And I suppose really just sharing that story of where BuyDonegal has come from, and I think COVID was a lot of things, and I had a lot of we've seen a lot of difficult days with COVID. But it also brought, I suppose, new experiences for us, and it brought new opportunities for locations like Donegal. And new initiatives such as the BuyDonegal initiative. And I think the saying is necessity is the mother of innovation, and that's what kind of comes to mind when we look at initiatives like this and the opportunities that have kind of opened up for Donegal over the past few years. I see Cathaoirleach has joined us. I'm wondering, do you want us to go to you now, Councillor Blaney, or would you like to wait a few minutes? I'm wondering. Okay, do you know what I might do actually, Councillor Blaney? I might invite you in after we speak to John O'Hara from the Creative Coast, if that's okay. And I'll give you a wee chance to get yourself sorted there. So, the Creative Coast Donegal was developed and launched back in 2015, and it was really launched with a vision to build a strong creative and digital economy in Donegal, with businesses that are robust, confident, financially viable, and collaboration friendly, all impacting positively on the local economy in terms of job creation, as well as being proactive and competitive on an international stage. And we're delighted to have John O'Hara with us today. John is the business executive with the Creative Coast Donegal, and John's going to tell us a little bit more about what he's doing and what the Creative Coast Donegal initiative is doing and is planning to do over the next number of months. So welcome, John.
Thank you very much, Anne-Marie. I really appreciate being here. It's a real privilege to be here talking to each of you. As Anne-Marie was saying, my name is John O'Hara. I am a business executive on the Creative Coast Initiative, and that's run out of the local enterprise office based in Letterkenny. My own background is I come from a lot of different places, but kind of like Stephen there, I worked abroad for quite a number of years, and recently came back to Donegal there in the middle of the pandemic. And I suppose the one thing I wanted to do was work for the people of Donegal and within Donegal itself. I see my notes are on the screen. Just give me 1 second and I'm just going to fix that. Sorry about this. How's that? Are my notes still visible? Very good, very good. Just one moment. How about now? Are they visible? They are. Okay, we're going to go noteless. It'll be great. Okay, so as Anne-Marie was saying, Creative Coast exists to grow the creative economy in Donegal. We're here to support creative businesses, build robust, self-sustaining businesses, and do all we can to grow the reputation of Donegal as a place where creative business happens, and happens very successfully. As Anne-Marie said, our vision for the creative sector in Donegal is to build a strong creative and digital economy in Donegal with businesses that are robust, confident, financially viable, and collaboration friendly, all impacting positively on the local economy in terms of job creation, as well as being proactive and competitive on an international stage. So that vision, that informs everything we do. And it's quite, it goes hand in hand with what this BuyDonegal campaign is striving to achieve as well. And that's why we're here to support as much as we can. So the first thing that I suppose is at our foundation is the importance of building a network of creatives throughout the county of Donegal. And the first thing we've done to be able to achieve that is build a really strong website where creative businesses can come, list themselves, describe their businesses, and provide, I suppose, an overview of their services to the wider public. Not only that, they can provide a direct link to their own e-commerce website or even their BuyDonegal profile mid-campaign when this campaign is going on. So that's something I'd love to encourage you all to do, and hopefully we'll support the BuyDonegal campaign as well, as by listing that website or listing your profile. That could go a long way in getting the word out there and bringing that business back to Donegal. Not only that, there's something we've been working on in recent months. We've implemented creative network meetings specifically for the craft and design industry. So these meetings began in September, and they were built from a need for community, built from a need for, I suppose, networking opportunities. I think many of the businesses that I work with on that daily basis are creative businesses, which are often solitary in nature. I often work with people who might be tucked away in the back room of their home, perhaps the back room of their office or the shed, and really don't have a lot of opportunity to connect with other creatives. So that's been I suppose, a primary goal of implementing these creative network meetings, is to create opportunities for connection. And that's exactly what our creative community has been telling us they're looking for. Not only that, we recently ran a skills audit throughout the county, and something that came back from our creative community is that there was a need for key business skills that, I suppose, will help the growth of those creative businesses throughout the county. So something that we've implemented and something that has gone really well is we brought in key figures in creative businesses all around Ireland to come in and deliver what we call master classes at each of these creative network meetings. We've had Seamus Fox of Mindset Junkie come and deliver a masterclass on adopting the right mindset for creative business. We've had Andrew Bradley of Bradley Brand come in and talk about developing a creative brand. Recently, just last Thursday, we were in Donegal town, and Greg Fry of Content Plan, he came in to talk about social media strategy. And social media strategy is something that our creatives have been telling us that they're very eager to learn more about. So we brought Greg in to speak for 40 minutes. That's all I asked him to speak. Well, he started speaking at 6 and he was still speaking at 9. Our creatives wouldn't let him leave. And it was just a wonderful evening and a great opportunity to dig a little deeper into those skills, into those key skills. And we're we're happy to say that our creatives walked away there with a very clear idea and a much improved understanding of what they can do from a social media perspective. And that's what we've been trying to create through these creative network meetings. Our creative network meetings are continuing. However, we are moving to an online format, we'll say. So keep an eye out for that there. Our next meeting is on November the 10th. I'll make sure to be promoting that through our Creative Coast Donegal social media pages. So keep an eye out for that there. It would be great to have you in attendance if you're in the craft and design industry in Donegal. Something that we're really proud of and something we've been working really hard on is a creative conference, a conference for the creative industry in Donegal. Now, we've got really specific. I think whenever we think of Donegal, it's very hard to ignore the heritage of the fashion and textile industry in this county. I think Donegal is uniquely placed on an international stage in that Donegal yarn and Donegal wool is so heavily associated with ourselves as a county. So we really wanted to celebrate that through our Yarns conference, which is coming up on the 18th and 19th of November. Now, not only that, we've actually had the opportunity to celebrate that history in Donegal and in Derry. Given that Derry also has a rich history there as well. So we are going to have a number of events across the 18th and 19th of November. They're going to occur in Derry, they're going to occur in Letterkenny. It will consist of workshops, it'll consist of panel discussions, keynote speeches, and very importantly, networking opportunities. And really, this has been created to provide fashion and textile entrepreneurs in the Northwest an opportunity to grow key business skills, meet other creatives, drive innovation, and drive ambition. Here are some of our keynote speakers. We have Sonia Lennon, who you may be familiar with, Deirdre McQuillan, a columnist for the Irish Times, stylist Aisling Farinella and Paula Hughes, all delivering keynote speeches. We have some great panelists from local businesses across Donegal and Derry as well. So please make sure you take a look at it on our website, on the Donegal, the Leo Donegal website as well. Please book in advance. It would be great to see you there. And that is me. All I can say is if anyone does have any questions about what we're doing, if anyone has any questions about how we can support you in the throughout your BuyDonegal campaign, we want to help. We're here to help. Please don't hesitate to shoot me an email. I will send. I'll make sure I put my email in the comments of the chat. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, John. Thank you. There's lots of things going on there, lots of work. And lots of opportunity for people in the creative industry to come together, to network, to get to know each other and to collaborate. So well done on the work that you're doing, John. And I think it's inspiring. There's no doubt about it. And what I really like too about the Yarns conference is the multi-locations there. So it's not just in one location, it's spread right across the Northwest between Derry and Donegal. So certainly something for people to watch out for, and would encourage people as well to sign up to the website and to collaborate with the Creative Coast initiative. So thank you, John. Cathaoirleach, Councillor Blaney, I might call on you now just to say a few words, and if that's okay.
Thanks, Anne-Marie. And thanks to John too for filling the gap there for me. That seemed to be one of those mornings. I'm sure most of us has them an odd time, some of us maybe more often than others. But I'd like to welcome everyone here to the official launch of the BuyDonegal 2022. And ask you here that Donegal County Council gives me great pleasure.
Sorry, Liam, I think you're just on mute there.
We're very lucky that Donegal have such a wide range of business offerings, and it's so important that you, our business community, are supported. Since the campaign began in 2020, we have seen a phenomenal response from both businesses and the public, and collectively promoting enterprise in the county. This year will once again provide an opportunity to build on the success of the last 2 years' inaugural campaign and generate even greater interest to BuyDonegal. We know these are challenging times for business right across our county, but I hope with initiatives such as BuyDonegal, we can help to boost your sales in this very important lead into Christmas. The success of the campaign is ultimately down to businesses involved, and I would ask you to help play your part and continue to make this campaign a success. By communicating to your customers and through social media, you will help to make the campaign stronger and make more people aware of the initiative. We've also seen some great collaboration among Donegal businesses offering craft and food offerings, which really help to showcase the craft and innovation of Donegal. I'm sorry I can't stay with you today because I have other commitments, but I'm sure you'll enjoy the rest of this morning's event. I look forward to hearing some very interesting insights from our guest speakers, Grace Corbell of the Donegal Creative Coast, and two very successful entrepreneurs, and Isobel Sangha of the Donegal Natural Soap Company, and James Doherty of Liag Distillers. Also, Stephen and Conor and Elaine in our Economic Development Division will share some more useful information on the campaign itself and tips on how to maximise your social media impact. And hope you have a very successful morning, and thank you.
Thank you, Cathaoirleach. Thanks very much, and thanks for taking time out of your very busy schedule. We know how busy you are and how busy we all keep you going as well. So thank you very much for taking the time this morning, and good luck with the rest of your day. So thank you very much. We'll just maybe move on to our next speaker this morning. Our next speaker is Isobel Sangha. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, Isobel, so apologies if I'm not saying your surname correctly. But Isobel is the creator and proprietor of the Donegal Natural Soap Company, which was founded in 2010. And the company produces small batch handmade natural cold processed soap and wholesome bath products. Isobel's inspiration continues to come from a love of foraging and nature's larder in Donegal, and a holistic sense of health for the individual and the environment. The business began with a real need to develop a natural Irish-made product, which Isobel will share more details with us now. So thank you, Isobel.
Thank you very much, Anne-Marie, and thank you so much for all of the team at BuyDonegal for this fantastic initiative. There's a lot of work behind it, I know. So yes, I am the owner of the Donegal Natural Soap Company, and I've been in business since 2010. And when I started my business, when you're doing your market research and seeing the products that are out there and naming your company, it's always the hardest start. So I obviously have Donegal in my company name, and I wrestled with that because I thought it might be a limiting factor. And it did come up during my journey. I've been in business now 12 years, but it's never held me back. So for me, I grew up in the hedgerows of Donegal. My mother was very passionate about the flora and fauna and the vernacular architecture and the history. So I felt that Donegal was a big part of the product that I was making, the natural, wholesome, a lot of my ingredients would be foraged or sourced from companies in Donegal. So I certainly think that for me, brand Donegal is important, and that this initiative is so vital. It also amazes me how many small companies there are in Donegal. Down every boreen and lane, you discover a new person that's not very far away. It's inspiring. So obviously National Geographic put us on the map a number of years ago as the coolest place on the planet. Donegal Airport is getting accolades for the most scenic landing. So I certainly think that Donegal as a brand, whether it's in your company name or your story or your subtext, never drop it. So I've had also the pleasure of doing a lot of collaborations with some fantastic Donegal companies. Cllr Brewing, I've made a beer soap, New Kid Coffee, I've been long partners with some amazing Irish suppliers, Moville Pottery, Donegal Socks. I get a lot of my raw materials locally from Donegal Bay Sea Veg, and Heather Honey locally, raw goat's milk. So I think when you have a Donegal brand, if you have 2 Donegal brands and 3 Donegal brands on a product or a collaboration, it just augments brand Donegal. And I want to talk about the sustainability part of it. So obviously I am, like many businesses, striving to be a sustainable business. But I think that if you think you've arrived at sustainability, you're dropping the ball, because it's an evolutionary process. For me, I try to look at my packaging. I try to look at my raw materials. So in the last 3 years, I've gone and moved towards more organic raw materials, because I feel that that's more holistic for the planet and for the treatment of the people. I look at my wheelie bin that I take down to the bottom of the lane every 2 weeks. That's a measure of my sustainability. The raw materials that I bring into my business, how they're packaged, can they go back into a circular economy? And sometimes as a small business, you might think that you're not making a difference, but lots of small businesses making small differences are observed by larger businesses, and obviously they'll make the seismic shifts in sustainability. But we drive that forward and we are noticed, so it's valuable. So I think really that's what I have in sustainability. I was thinking about my journey, you know, and if I was to drive from Ramelton to Glenties, I'd probably be around the Silver Tassie, or maybe nearly in Donegal. So it is a journey, but it's one to keep going with. And yes, brand Donegal is very strong. Tell it in your story, and certainly I think we have a very strong creative, and as was mentioned previously, the food industry in Donegal is phenomenal. So I want to thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Isobel. Thank you. Some very wise words there, and that's great to kind of hear from a business person that I suppose really the power of brand Donegal, if you like, and the importance it is to you in terms of your own business, and I suppose the essence of it as well. So yes. Thank you very much, and also thanks for touching on the whole area of sustainability. It's certainly, and I think the way you've described it as like a continuous endeavour, if you like. It's not something that we ever achieve, nor should we ever achieve. It's something that we should continuously strive for and to improve on. So lots of wise words there, Isobel. So thank you, and thanks for sharing your thoughts today. Okay, we'll move on to our next speaker. Our next speaker is James Doherty from Sliabh Distilleries. James has always had a dream of building a distillery in Donegal, where his parents hail from and where he has spent many happy childhood holidays. The grandson of a renowned distiller, in 2014, James uprooted his family from Hong Kong and relocated to Donegal to achieve his vision. So James has led and has been involved in branded spirits and beer distribution for 20 years. So James, you're very welcome today, and thank you for joining our webinar this morning. I'll just hand it over to you, James.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. Hopefully you can hear me, and yeah, it makes me sound very old, so but thank you for those kind words. I think if we start, I think to build on what our previous speakers have said, I think brand Donegal is a real opportunity for us, and I'm just grateful to be part of BuyDonegal. We were on it last year, and we've done very well for us. And one of the things that I suppose we take out of the last couple of years, which have been quite challenging for us and for everyone, is that just don't stop selling. You know, we've doubled down on selling throughout the pandemic, and actually our business is, I feel a bit shy saying it, and I think that's a Donegal trait. You know, our business doubled last year, and it's more than doubled again this year. So, you know, don't stop selling. Use every channel you can and make every connection you can to make it happen. So it's wonderful to be part of BuyDonegal here today. Even if you could knock it on one slide, that'd be brilliant. Thank you. I thought it would be worth just talking about. We came back obviously in 2015 with this vision to build a distillery, but the distillery is actually just the start of the journey. It is about building an international spirits company based in Southwest Donegal that that creates opportunity for the area and gives people like my mum, who left here in the 1960s looking for work in England, and hence this accent, and most of the whiskey community that would have heard me speak kind of do chuckle about the fact that I bang on about Donegal with this English accent, so apologies for that. But brand Donegal for me and for the way we look at the business is fundamentally our superpower. So we think of Donegal, Ireland as a table state when it comes to spirits, and most people's first interaction with Ireland around the world is either Paddy's Day or one of the global drink brands, and we intend to be part of that, and we think that Donegal is what takes us from the table stakes to being all in, and we view it fundamentally as a superpower. So we try and celebrate Donegal in everything we do. Either it's the sense of place, it's the sense of time, as we try and pocket all of our brands in a specific place. It's in time, so our whiskies are from pre-independence or pre-prohibition if we're talking to Americans. Our gins are based at a savory time when sweet drinks didn't really exist, which is sort of around the time of the Spanish Armada. So being very specific about that, we take a very distinctive view of the world. I think all has a very distinctive view of the world. And we think that that is important because we're not trying to be globally dominant. We just want a prize that's big enough for us and that will create opportunity in a long-term way for the whole of Donegal. It's also, we don't try and make things that are pretty. The Donegal has some pretty spots, but if you want chocolate box pretty, go to Wicklow. If you want raw, wild, untamed, inspiring, this is where we live. So we try and make sure that we focus on that in all that we do. And we take a pretty contrary view of the world. And I'm certain that that's what I've inherited from my mum and dad, is a view that we should take opposite positions to the way that the rest of what the industry is looking at drinks. So we take the most Irish whiskey is smooth and sweet and easy, and we make whiskies that are rich and smoky and challenging. We make gins that are rich and complex and savory, and the gin world is gone sweet and frivolous. And we think that that's our path to success. And we fundamentally make soft drinking hard spirits. So we make spirits that are soft drinking. So they have a very soft mouthfeel, which is not common. And it is something about our weather is pretty much always soft, and our welcome is always soft and gentle. So we try and make sure that that comes alive in terms of everything we do. To build on Isobel's comment, we're one of the only distilleries of this size that are origin green gold. So I believe that sustainability is just the start point. We have no plastic in our secondary packaging. We minimize energy usage wherever possible. We have massive amounts of energy recovery units in here so that our footprint sits as lightly on this beautiful county as we possibly can. And it's starting to work. We employ about 30 people. We distribute to about 40 countries of the world, including 41 states of America. So the message of Donegal first, Ireland second, we believe is working. We're going to have the next slide, Stephen. And we think about the way we go to market in terms of completing but not competing in Donegal. It's one of the things that I think is really important for us, particularly with BuyDonegal and how we sort of go to the world, is that we can all leverage each other in really interesting ways that connect our business with somebody else's fan group, and that opens up new opportunities for us. And some of this is organic. I'd love to tell you that this is all massively planned, but football special, so dark silky and football special, or silky special as it's called on Twitter, is a thing. We didn't design it, it came around organically, but now we've doubled down on it. Kevin Callahan in Donegal Town makes cups for us specifically, beautiful handmade crafted cups. We use Eddie Doherty, McGee, and others in terms of making tweeds for us that are specific to the distillery, and we can tell our story around it. Billigans make silky marmalade, Little Mamas make gin and tonic ice cream. Eddie Irish Premium Oysters, we have an oyster shot done with Doulaman. Atlantic Treasures do smoked salmon with us, and Missing Piece make pieces for us. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. We've also done stuff with New Kid coffee as well, Donegal Seaved. The thing for me is that if we can build these connections through BuyDonegal and others, and tap into each other's network, we can expand that Donegal story and make it even more authentic and extend its reach even further. And that if we do that well, then we will build an opportunity for Donegal that will take the business, all of our businesses on much further. And we think about completing, not competing. It is making the offer of Donegal bigger and better and more special, rather than trying to just carve out our piece of it. And I commend that kind of philosophy to everybody. I think it is genuinely a path to success, and it is kind of how we could, Donegal people are hardwired. So if we get it right, and we really leverage what BuyDonegal can do for us as the catalyst for that, I think it's a really positive thing for us to do. So the next slide, please. Please, thank you. And so I just want to wish everybody the best of luck with it. You know, the BuyDonegal for us has been a really good exercise over the last couple of years. We'll be throwing our weight behind it. If anybody wants to do collaborations, my contact details are there at the bottom. If anyone wants to understand how we've trying to go to market internationally, and if we can help in any way, my details are there. I'm very happy to help. But let's get behind BuyDonegal. Let's really celebrate Donegal, and like football special, let's be world famous in Donegal. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, James. Thank you. Again, great to hear that, I suppose, the importance of the Donegal brand and how that has been weaved into your own product and in terms of your own branding as well. So thank you very much. And I think I love the way you've described us as being contrary, because that used to be a negative at home, and now I love how we've turned that into a positive, because yeah, I think that's what we are. We're a bit soft, but we're also very contrary. So it's that mixture and those comparisons, I think, that work as well for the Donegal brand. And I think you've mentioned the whole area of sustainability, looking at the local supply chain and how that's a really important, I suppose, aspect in terms of what it is we do and how we do our work. And the need for collaboration. So I think that sustainability and collaboration is intrinsically linked in terms of even like so reducing our carbon footprint and looking at the circular economy and how we can reduce waste and achieve greater efficiencies in energy and what have you. So look, thank you very much for your contribution, James. It certainly has contributed very much to this morning's webinar, and again to your call for businesses to continue to collaborate and to support both the BuyDonegal initiative and also initiatives such as the Creative Coast as well. So thank you very much. We're going to call on our final speaker today. Our final speaker is Conor Doherty, and Conor is he's a key member of our marketing team here in the Economic Development Unit. And what Conor's going to do is Conor's going to actually tell us a little bit more about the digital assets that have been developed for Donegal, BuyDonegal, and how the various participating businesses and various stakeholders can use these assets to, I suppose, to really maximise the potential of the campaign over the coming weeks. So I'll just hand you over to Conor now. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much, Anne-Marie, for the introduction, and hopefully everybody's able to see my screen as well. We're going to get a wee bit more technical now, folks, just to kind of show you how we can use the creatives for this year's campaign. I'm going to show you how you can do social posts and posters using the creatives that we've had done. I'm also going to show you how we can add some special offers through the business portal, and they'll appear on donegal.ie. And I'll just talk a little bit more. I know Stephen mentioned it earlier, but just about the benefits of using the BuyDonegal hashtag going forward. So if I make a start here, I'll show you how we can add some of this year's creatives, updated creatives, to your social posts. So if we go on to BuyDonegal.ie, you can see here we have the business portal on the right hand side under important links. So this is the important link for businesses and how they can update, create their profiles and add special offers as well. Through here then, you can see the sign up in the login section. And you can also see download the BuyDonegal creative assets. So from there, if we click, we'll be brought through to share file. And then from there, we can tick whether we want to download the video or the BuyDonegal creative. So for now, I'm just going to download the BuyDonegal creatives. So once those creatives have downloaded, we can then go through to a creative tool. So the example we give here on the business portal is Canva. We have a how-to guide on the BuyDonegal business portal for how to use Canva. So I'm not going to go into that in too much detail, but I'll just show you where it is. So as you can see here, there's a how-to guide on how to add creative images. So just to go into more detail, if I open up Canva then, and I search, for example, I want to create an Instagram post. Here we can get different templates, which is going to be the correct size for the respective platform. So if I go to Instagram post and hit square, it's just going to open up. We'll open up a blank post. And from there then, I've created a BuyDonegal folder at the bottom, and I've uploaded the BuyDonegal creatives that we've previously downloaded. From there then, I can select an image, say for example, this McNuts image here. And what we can do is we can add our overlay at the top. So here's an example of a BuyDonegal overlay. And what we can just do is add it over the top. And then once you click out, it will disappear. But if we just hit the back button, we've got the creative, and we'll just call it, for example, McNuts Instagram post. And from there, then we can download the post as a PNG. It'll go into our downloads folder. And then if we want to open up Instagram and add the post to our Instagram post, what we can just do then is create post, upload our image. It'll come in here to downloads, as you can see. And we've created, we're on our way to creating an Instagram post with the BuyDonegal creatives. So any business can do this really if they download the creatives and if they have their own images. And then we can just hit share post then with some detail on the campaign. Next, I'm going to show you guys how to create a poster. And I'm just conscious of time as well, so I'll try and fly through it. So within the BuyDonegal creatives, I'm just going to bring this over. We also have the PowerPoint options, so you don't have to use Canva. And what we can do here is I'm going to show you an example of how we can create a poster that we can send to printers to get printed in store. So as you can see here, A1 poster. So we can open up this template. Apologies, my internet's just a bit slow, folks. And from there, we have a list of templated posts from last year's campaign. So we have an image here, and we can delete the image and add a new image. So for this example, I'm going to use an image of James, who was just speaking, and show you how we can create a poster as well. We have an image of James saved here. We can add the image in. We can stretch the image out. And then we're just going to move the image to the back so the template comes to the front. And then we're going to file, save as. We can save this as a PDF, which can be used to be shared with the printers that you can get, posters then printed out as well. So I'll just give you an example. So we'll share as save as a PDF. And then if I go back to where I've saved it, we can see James' image has been saved here. So there might just be a little bit more editing to do there in terms of moving his head across, but that's just an idea of how you can create some of the creatives for the campaign. So the next part I'm going to show you what to do is just how to There, it's just loading up, sorry, the one that we've just created. There we go. So the next step then is I'm just going to show you how you can add special offers for this year's campaign. Special offers appear on Donegal.ie under BuyDonegal, and they'll appear here. So what we can do is we can log into the business portal on the top right, and I've created a business already. And from there, we can click offers, and we can add an offer of our choice. So what we need to do is just fill out the fields, add in our image, and then we can click save. And here's one I've created earlier, which is just awaiting approval. So all the special offers that come through to us, we can approve them and then hit save changes, and those offers will appear live on the BuyDonegal website. So I suppose the importance of having special offers for the campaign is that we can, I'll just go back to my presentation here and just talk a bit about the benefits as well. So having a BuyDonegal specific special offer for the campaign allows us to provide a metric in which we can help measure the success of the campaign. So for example, if we have BuyDonegal as the code at checkout, you're able to check to see how effective the campaign's working for you as well. It also helps us to track the reach. So as Stephen mentioned earlier, last year, the BuyDonegal social posts which businesses had posted, there was over 6,000, reaching over 13.9 million social accounts, so almost 14 million social accounts. And that really helps us amplify the BuyDonegal message and also provides consumers with the ease of finding local suppliers. So if I give an example on the next slide of how consumers can follow the BuyDonegal hashtag, Instagram is the example here. You can click on the search bar, search for the BuyDonegal hashtag, and then if we click on tags and click on BuyDonegal, we can follow the posts. And then what that happens is every single post with the BuyDonegal hashtag will start to appear in your newsfeed, and you'll be able to get some helpful ideas of maybe what you're going to buy for Christmas and stuff like that. So the importance of the hashtag can't be overemphasized. Like we saw over 5,000 posts last year on Instagram alone, and over 6,000 across other social platforms as well. So that unified, amplified message I think is really important. And if we get it out there this year, we'll definitely see this reach increasing as well from 13.9 million. So I know it was a pretty quick one there, folks, and a little bit technical, but look, if you have any questions, you can check out the Donegal.ie business portal, frequently asked questions. You can email us or you can give us a call as well. And thanks very much for listening.
Thank you. Thanks very much, Conor. I was actually just engrossed there listening to you, so I nearly forgot to unmute there. So that's great. Great practical advice in terms of how to connect in with the campaign. And again, that information is all available. Conor and Stephen and indeed Elaine will be available to help any business that needs support in terms of using any of the digital assets, and indeed in terms of putting up special offers and that type of thing. So that's brilliant. So thank you very much, Conor, for that. I'm just aware we have a few minutes if anyone has any questions and answers. I'm just looking at the question and answer box. We don't really have, I don't think, any questions. We have just a comment from Val Robust, and Val's encouraging everyone to use the hashtag BuyDonegal on Twitter today, just to raise awareness, which is a really good idea, and it would be great just to kind of, I suppose launch, support the launch of the campaign itself. So great idea, Val, and thank you very much for that. And I know James has just commented as well in the chat, James Doherty, just not to forget about LinkedIn, that it's a really effective platform as well. So again, a really good piece of advice. And I think what you'll find is different platforms as well kind of suit different products, depending on what your product is. And a lot of businesses know what kind of, the different ones that work for them as well. So another great advice there. Stephen, I might just have one question. I might just come back to you. Will the team be keeping in contact with the participating businesses throughout the campaign, and what can they look for in terms of that?
Thanks, Anne-Marie. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the through any number of avenues, I suppose. One of the easiest ones is through email, I suppose. But you know, direct messages, whatever the case may be. What we've tried to do is, you know, and again, particularly Conor and Lynn have worked really hard to try and make the process as automated as possible. So the templates, the hashtags are all of our social media assets. We will also be developing a how-to guide. That will be available very soon as well. So people who have maybe just started the campaign from scratch, who are less familiar than others, will have this guide, and those will all be available. We will be sending out emails regularly throughout the campaign as well, just to keep people informed of what's happening and encourage that two-way dialogue as well. But again, as Conor mentioned, follow the hashtag. I know separately James has asked in terms of our own specific social media handles across each platform. Those will go out with an email to everybody so they can watch the recording again, particularly, I suppose, Conor's elements, some of those, the how-to guides will be really, really important.
Thank you. Thanks very much, Stephen. Thanks. That's great advice. And I would encourage businesses to kind of look out for the emails as well, just in terms of opportunities to participate in the campaign. So look, I think this brings us to the close of this morning's launch and this morning's webinar. So there's, I suppose, really just by way of kind of closing the event, I'd like to thank all the contributors this morning. I'd like to thank our Cathaoirleach Councillor Liam Blaney for coming along and officially launching the campaign. I'd like to thank Stephen and Conor from the Economic Development team. I'd like to thank John O'Hara from the Creative Coast Initiative, Isobel Sangha from the Donegal Natural Soap Company, and James Doherty from the Sliabh Distillers. So thank you all for joining us this morning and for contributing so well to the event. And I'd also like to thank all our businesses and all our colleagues for joining us this morning for the launch of the 2022 BuyDonegal initiative. And I wish all the businesses participating in the campaign every success. And I look forward to working with the businesses over the next number of weeks. And I'd encourage you again to continue to collaborate and to work together to amplify the great message that we have here in Donegal and the great brand that we have in terms of BuyDonegal and the wider Donegal Place brand. So thanks very much, everyone, and have a lovely day. Thank you.